Anime is a source of joy and happiness all around the world, may it be from epic action or mind-numbing comedy. With that in mind, some of the best anime also do a great job of putting even the mightiest hearts to their knees crying. Number 10.
背景有馬昴生様、さっきまで一緒にいた人に手紙を書くのは変な感じです。
Starting off this list, on the right musical note, we have Your Lie in April, a series every anime fan should at least watch once. Your Lie in April is simply a timeless classic in the penultimate sad anime. While this show is rich with moments that'll bring you to your knees crying, for me and many others, the moment that plays the saddest tune has to be the last scene.
行かないで行かないでくれ、僕を置いて行かないで。
After a performance that would bring anyone to tears and the passing of a beautiful soul, Arima Kosei is alone reading a letter Kaori had left behind for him. A pretty long scene, taking up pretty much the whole episode. It does a fantastic job at unpacking the series that we've come to love and explains more the mind of a character we fell in love with all the same. The whole sham of having a crush on Ryota? Yup, wasn't true at all. And not to kick a man while he's down, but Kosei should not have been this surprised. Most importantly though, the letter allows Kaori to say thank you and goodbye to the one person she always idolized and ultimately loved. Kosei Arima.
有馬昴生君、君が好きです。好きです。
Number 9.
そんな、先輩は本当の私を知らないもん。
現実が生きてた時のお前がどんなでも俺が結婚してやんよ。
Jam into the music. Next up is Angel Beats, another classic anime. Many would consider the ending of Angel Beats to be one of the saddest there is. For me though, Yui's goodbye at episode 10 has to be my pick, signaling the start of the end. The episode centers around the MC Otonashi helping Yui fulfill her desires so she can pass on in peace.
お前思ったより力あるじゃん。いけるいける。
やっぱり女の子の私なんかには無理かな。
Though the road was violent and filled with danger, they pretty much crossed everything off her bucket list, that is, besides getting a home run. Sadly, she's just unable to gain pro-level baseball skills in a day, and they ultimately give up. After all, she has bigger wishes, like getting married. Although she does give the selfish request to Otonashi, Hinata comes out of nowhere and takes her up on the offer. What follows is a sad, drawn-out scene complete with sad music and visions of a possible reality where the two do indeed meet in real life and have a relationship. Literally the first ever time I was so violently brought to tears as an anime fan. It's left up to us fans to believe that they do eventually meet again in the next life.
ホームランなんて冗談みたいな夢だよ。ホームランが打てなくてもこんなにいっぱい体を動かせたんだからもう十分だよ。毎日部活みたいで楽しかったな。
Number 8.
おいじいちゃん、ちょっと。おい俺らも行こう。
Coming back to haunt our broken hearts, we have Anohana, the flower we saw that day. With Jinta and his group of friends finishing their attempt at fulfilling Menma's wish, it dawns on them that she still has yet to fade away. And while that does sound great in terms of not being lonely and all, the group meets up to air out their frustrations as they realize it could be because of their deep desire of not wanting Menma to go. Despite their little counsel though, Menma back at home is able to remember the real wish she had before she passed away. A promise he made to Jinta's mother to see to it that Jinta is finally able to cry.
ジンタ、また泣いた。でもね、メンマ本当はジンタの笑った顔が好き。
Right on time as Jinta returns, he sees Menma slowly start fading away, causing him to carry her in a rush to say goodbye to their friends. But as any classic anime fan should know, this is when she continues fading to the point that even Jinta is unable to see her. What follows is a very tragic game of hide and seek, where the cast is fully able to let out their sorrowful goodbyes to Menma. All this culminates in an epic and sad moment where they see letters Menma left behind and are able to see her one last time against the sunlight. And it's then that the promise she made with Jinta's mother comes to fruition again, and we get to join along too in letting the tears fall.
手紙読んだぞ。俺も大好きだぜ、メンマ。
私も大好きよ。メンマ大好き。
Number 7.
なぎさなぎさ
Definitely not having a fun time with Dangos. Next up is Clannad After Story. Spanning nearly 40 episodes, Tomoya and Nagisa have had an entire relationship that's even reached the level of pretty much married. In this scene, the two even welcome a new member of the family, Ushio. But as fate would sadly have it, Nagisa, who's always had a weak constitution, is barely able to hold it together during these last moments. As Tomoya does his best to show their new daughter, Nagisa abruptly passes away.
後ろのほっぺだ。ほら、な。
To any fan of this anime series who's followed their journey from episode 1 of the series, it's a sadness almost impossible to fathom from an outside eye. While this list contains many deaths of lovers, very rarely do we see a sad end for characters with such a long and storied run together. Despite Tomoya's wish to live a happy life together with Nagisa and Ushio, the episode ends, and the next is soon to begin. Acting as a somber catalyst to the rest of the series, Tomoya now has a life of even more hardship ahead of him as he now has to continue living for the happiness of his daughter, Ushio. But while they're only here for one heartbreaking scene, fans of the series know all too well that tragedy can strike more than once.
こんなのは嫌だ。ナギさん、牛を助けてくれ。ナギさん。
Number 6.
何よそれ。なんでそんなに落ち着き払ってんのよ。
俺は見切られたんだよ。苦しいから。まして。
どうしてそれで納得してんのよ。
Leaving a lasting memory, we have Golden Time. By the same creator of Toradora, Golden Time chronicles the relationship between Tada Banri and Koko Kaga. Due to Banri's medical condition though, he is slowly losing the memories he made over the course of the anime, reverting back to his old self. And important part of that issue is how his old self was very much in love with Linda, a girl who even now has been hovering around his life. As his condition worsens, his relationship with Koko gets rocky.
大丈夫だよ。私が大丈夫にしてあげるよ。全部任せて。だって私は科学王子だから。
with Koko breaking up with him in an attempt to make things easier. Of course, this is actually quite painful for Banri, but due to his bottom energy, he does nothing, upsetting Linda, who to this day still has feelings for him. Erupting into a one-sided fight, Banri and Linda end up letting their story known, with Linda even admitting that she had meant to say yes to Banri's confession all those years ago. It's a heartbreaking scene, where plenty of emotions get tangled up with so many characters involved. That being said, while sad, I couldn't help but feel a bit frustrated as Linda was still grasping so tightly at a past she already screwed up.
わからなくなって新しく生まれ直したのがここにいる俺です。今まで嘘ついていて本当にすいませんでした。
私もグル。
Phew! We're still just halfway through, so I'd suggest grabbing some more tissues. This video was pretty hard to make with constant raindrops on my eyes. If you appreciate this at all, consider leaving a super thanks. I'm sure that'll help humongous in keeping the tears at bay. I mean, rain. Yeah, the rain. Also, leave a comment down below which scene you think is the saddest so far. While you're at it, leave a like, subscribe, and share this video if you want to help others lose a bit of that sodium. Number 5.
私は嘘
小野屋どうした小野屋
白さ
Starting over from Not Zero, next up is ReLIFE. Getting another chance to live out a high school life sounds like it's all fun and games, until you remember all that tests you have to prepare, that is. But with youth comes youthful bliss, and romance is of course one of the sweetest parts of it. Arata and Chizuru are two participants of the ReLIFE program, and ultimately, they grow very fond of each other. Some would say even love, but the kudere Chizuru would never admit to it. Sadly, that is where the sad part rolls in.
同じ被験者なのでしょう貝崎さんの存在も私の記憶から
When it comes time to end the experiment and revert back to their old age, they both have to take a medicine to erase their memories and the memories of those around them. The issue is, of course, is that Arata and Chizuru would forget about each other, but it has to be done so everyone reluctantly follows protocol. But just as Onoya finishes up giving Chizuru the meds and is about to leave her in sleep, she discovers how Chizuru had left a message for her future amnesiac self, reminding her of the man she's fallen in love with. As the tears start falling from both Onoya and myself, reality kicks in that she's forced to erase it, potentially dooming this beautiful romance. A relatively short but truly heartbreaking moment.
心の準備なんて1年前からできてるっつーのいいリライフでしたありがとうございます
Number 4.
出会ってからあっという間だったね。もっと司と一緒に楽しい時間をいっぱい過ごしたかったな。
Booting up next is Plastic Memories. Spending the whole series together securing androids known as Giftias for retrieval, Tsukasa and Isla are finally faced with the end of the road. Being a Giftia herself, Isla is now at the end of her own lifespan and facing the same grim fate she and her partner Tsukasa have been enforcing all throughout. And just a refresher, retrieval is the act done at the end of a Giftia's lifespan, where the unit's memories are wiped clean. With the two's relationship developing over the course of the series, even entering into a romantic relationship, Tsukasa accepted Isla's somber request of him being the one to handle her retrieval.
サインは俺がすることになってる。
いいよ。
本当に？
司にサインしてほしい。
And so, this kickstarts one of the saddest scenes I've personally ever experienced, with the two spending the whole day together on a date. They finish it off with Isla's final wish of going on a Ferris wheel, exchanging what they like most about each other. The ride almost reaches its end, signaling the moment Tsukasa has been dreading this whole time. With one last kiss and their hands clasping together, Isla's retrieval process begins, and her memory is wiped, leaving Tsukasa nothing more to do but carry her lifeless body out.
大切な人といつかまた巡り会えますように。
Number 3.
別の世界にいるカケルを救おうぜ。
カケルがずっと笑っていられる世界を作ろう。カケルのために何かしたい。
Looking over an orange horizon, we have Orange. May it be in a whole anime or even a parallel world, the quest to keep Kakeru alive is finally coming to a close. As the day of reckoning approaches, the group is anxious like every other anime fan watching, wondering if they've truly done enough to stop Kakeru from going down a sad road. I don't know if it's just the anxiety from suspense or the immediate relief that comes from seeing him finally survive, but the moment Kakeru himself breaks down in tears to explain his mom's last text, I couldn't help but bawl my eyes out.
ごめん、みんな。俺らもごめんな。
We all know or eventually find out how painful it is to want to tell someone something after they're gone. Kakeru's extreme sorrow for this reason is 100% valid. That being said, it's another kicker of reading out the letters of his friends in a parallel world that truly cements the anime's message. Whoever you may have lost, giving your own life away does the same for many more around you. The best thing we can only really do in life for those who have passed is to live and to wish.
もしもう一度チャンスをもらえるなら、今度は私たちが全力でカケルを守るから生きてほしい。
Number 2.
サイバースケルトンの本体と実践データの回収もできないのであれば、貴様の役割など。
Next up, not running into this list, Cyberpunk Edgerunners. In my opinion, one of the best anime to release in recent years. Besides brutal action, it also delivers in providing gut-wrenching moments that'll have you in tears. The saddest scene for me has to be in the series' conclusion. As adrenaline pumping as it is, the final crescendo of the madness comes just as David comes face to face with Night City's most dangerous Edgerunner, Adam Smasher. Here to save his girl Lucy, he's forced to pump out every bit of his willpower to make use of his Sandevistan one more time. Literally blasting away from the scene, the two are able to escape in free fall out of the tower. Just as David is losing himself to his cyber overdose, Lucy is able to pull him back, and the two are able to share beautiful words of love with each other, as if nothing else matters at that moment.
私なんか守らなくていい。あんた自身が生きてくれていればそれだけでよかったのに。
俺のことはいいんだ。何もない俺の代わりに。
All things come to an end though, and happy endings don't come from Night City. While David may have been able to send Lucy to the moon, his destiny was not as kind, and the love story between these two was simply never meant to leave this city of broken dreams. Number 1.
お前起きられたんならさっさとどっかに隠れてろよ。クトリー
Making for a sad fairy tale ending, last on our list is WorldEnd. Last but definitely not least, WorldEnd features one of the saddest scenes in all of anime, centering around Willem fulfilling his role of caretaker to a bunch of weaponized kids. Over the course of 12 episodes, we live and love alongside him and a wonderful cast of characters. The cherry on top is Katali, a cute tsundere who's not entirely against letting her own feelings known. The two steadily develop a precious and ultimately romantic relationship, even turning into a marriage proposal in a dusty storage room. Sadly, that isn't the reason it has a place on this list, and the anime goes on. At the climax of the battle, Willem jumps off the airship they're on to save another girl under his care, Nephrin. Just in time for this, Katole wakes up from her fantasy coma and jumps down to rescue them with no regard for herself. She is, after all, as happy as can be already, and so all that's left is to protect the one person who's made it possible. Reminiscing about everything that's happened so far, it wasn't just her falling down in this scene, I'll tell you that. Even after doing what she can for the two, she proceeds to fight off a horde of monsters that were also down there, in the end succumbing to their vicious numbers and finally going out with a bang. But not before saying one final line to the one she loves the most.
もう大丈夫。
何言って。
And we're finally done with this episode. How's the tissue supply going? Let us know in the comments below if you have another anime scene in mind that brought us down the salty falls. As always, like and subscribe if you want to see more, and make sure to share this video to anyone you think cries easily. I'm sure they'll never forget it. See you next time in a probably less sad video.